I'm going to move on to something else now. I'm going to play a little video here about something that happened recently. So just bear with us for a few seconds while that video runs.
The Service New South Wales employee from is accused of supplying an address to the gang who kidnapped from his home last month. The 26-year-old held hostage for 6 days at his captors removing his teeth as they demanded drugs and money from a wealthy associate. Detectives allege he used her work computer to search an address for crypto trader, leading the kidnappers to this property on no longer works for Service New South Wales and will remain in custody tonight before facing a Sydney court tomorrow.
Okay, so we just watched a video here about what happened here in New South Wales with Service New South Wales. This is a different topic, very very related to security. So this is around insider threats. So this is about people. It involves malicious and intentional attacks, but also errors. Someone by accident might leave credentials exposed, and that could create a vulnerability. But in this particular case that we saw in the video, this was intentional, whereby the insider threat is real. In your opinion, how should an organisation or a government should mitigate the risks of the human element for insider threats?
Yeah, my first response to that is building an organisational culture around cybersecurity and cyber safety, so that people, if they see a colleague doing the wrong thing, they will correct them for it. It's about delivering what those expectations are. Culture is paramount. Look, I went through as a junior officer during the Fitzgerald inquiry, where we had corruption in Queensland Police, and culture was the poor culture prior to Fitzgerald was a reflection of the troubles we had. People didn't care, or had grown a subculture of doing the wrong thing and with impunity and think they could get away with everything. Culture and it reflects behaviour. Behaviour reflects culture. I think building an organisational culture where people will not allow their colleagues to slip is critical in this space. And it could be something about as simple as sharing passwords or putting a password on a post-it note on the monitor. It could be leaving your computer on when you get up and walk away. The other side of the equation is to support that is there are some pretty good technologies around now that look at behavioural analysis of the users. Another area they could look at from a technology perspective is micro-segmentation. So only giving people access to the information they need to perform their job. Too easy, it's about let's hook up everyone and get full-blown access, and begs the question why. So privilege access management and identity management are key to those issues as well. But foremost for me is organisational culture. I did a lot of investigating. I was an investigator during the Fitzgerald inquiry. I was an investigator during the Carter corruption in investigations into drugs and corruption. I think I said corruption 3 times there. I apologise. And what we found, if you look at the psychology of people that were officers that were corrupt, it came back, generally speaking, they had they would tend to be highly independent. Very intelligent, had sometimes a lot of charisma. They had a feeling the job owed them something. Morale wasn't particularly high. They wanted to be completely self-autonomous. And I often had a gambling or lifestyle addiction that couldn't be sustained with their annual wage. And so that again comes back to culture. And if I said to you, we go into organisations, we do cultural diagnostics, and we look at behaviours, perceptions, attitudes, and all this sort of stuff. And some organisations, here's a question for everyone to ask themselves. If you saw a colleague not committing a major breach of policy, but not abiding by policy, strictly speaking, would you correct them on it? Now, the truth is, a lot of people would say, no, that's not my job, that's okay. But what you've just done is basically give tacit consent to increasing the bar of tolerance to breach policy. And so one thing about human nature is the more you increase that bar of tolerance, just think about your own kids. If you let them get away with something, they'll push it, and that's human nature. So, again, it comes back up to culture.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course.